when you're a student, you revolve around assignments and homeworks and grades. And when you're in love, you revolve around the object of your romantic emotions. When you are developing a career, you move around a certain goal. So it could be a stage in life. This center could be needs or activities or career. It could also be consciousness or values or aspirations. What you subscribe to, what you believe in, what you like to live for, at least at the moment. The center of that orbit of our life could be that which moves and directs us. Ngayon pa lang, maaga-aga na, sino po ang center ng buhay nyo? Ano ang orbit natin at saan tayo umiinog? What or who is the center of your orbit around which you live and survive and would like to spend the rest of your time? One important thing to remember is that we move in orbits of time. Yung mga orbits of time. Sometimes it's an orbit of infancy or childhood, youth, or adulthood. Sometimes it's the orbit of seconds and minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, seasons, years. But there's a time for specific activities. As the Bible says in Ecclesiastes 3, 1-8, everything on earth has its own time and its own season. There is a time for birth and death, planting and reaping, for killing and healing, destroying and building, for crying and laughing, weeping and dancing, for throwing stones and gathering stones, embracing and parting. There is a time for finding and losing, keeping and giving, for tearing and sowing, listening and speaking. There's also a time for love and hate, for war and peace. May panahon. Kaya yung orbit na sinusundan natin sa Earth, may panahon ng mga seasons. Sa 4-season countries and places, may panahon ng winter, merong autumn, merong spring, may summer. Dahil nandun yung planeta sa orbit na yun, sa lugar na yun. Time keeps moving. And many adults begin to see and even mourn this, especially those who are above 50. Naisip-isip mo na, ang bilis ng panahon, gabi na naman, hapon na naman, umaga na naman. Bakit naisip mabilis ang panahon? Kasi parang malapit nang lumubog ang iyong araw sa buhay. Parang malapit ka nang dumating sa end of this earthly life. While many people will rejoice meeting their Creator, many people have anxieties, and some people would like to extend their earthly lives. Kaya si Salvador Dali, isang kilalang pintor, nagpinta siya nito mga orasan, clocks, watches, that melt, that are distorted, that people are trying to stop from moving. But no matter what you do with your clocks or your watches, time will march forward. Hindi napipigil ang pagtakbo ng panahon. Kaya yung, ay, Lunes na naman, ay, Pasko na naman, pabilis ng pabilis. Ang mga bata hindi na naiisip Kasi gusto nga nilang dumaan pang maraming Pasko, marami pang mga panahon, kasi meron pa silang gusto ma-achieve. Meron silang gustong ma-accomplish. Pero yung mga accomplished na, lalo ko nag-e-enjoy na sa buhay sa na-accomplish nila, kulang na lang napigilin mo ang mga kamay ng orasan para humaba at lumawig ang iyong buhay, that you enjoy your life. So the perspective of youth about time is different from the perspective of those who are adults. Young people would like to hurry time up, and adults would like at least to extend their lives or to slow down the passage of time. Ecclesiastes 1:5, the sun comes up, the sun goes down, it hurries right back to where it started from. Walang nakakapigil ng pagdaan ng oras. In such orbits of time, our path or orbit brings us close to, alongside, and away from places, things, and people. It's a fact of life. Pagka ikaw ay bata, magsisimula ka pumasok sa eskwela, nalalayo ka sa iyong magulang, at least during the school hours. Pero nalalapit ka naman sa mga ka-eskwela mo. Pag mag-aasawa ka na, kahit paano, napapalayo ka sa iyong mga kapatid at mga magulang, napapalapit ka naman sa iyong kabiyak. Pagka ikaw ay magtatrabaho, lalo abroad, napapalayo ka sa iyong pamilya, napapalapit ka naman sa mga bago mong kaibigan, sa mga bago mong makakasama sa buhay. Every time that there's movement of time, we are drawn closer or taken away from people that we value. We are being taken to new places, nearer and nearer to different places, and farther from the usual places. So our life orbits are all about time sharing. It's temporary. It's dynamic. Isa po sa mga napaka-enjoyable kong karanasan when it comes to interacting with many cultures was when I worked abroad. And there were at least 30 different nationalities in one compound, and you encounter them every day. Hindi na yun mauulit kahit kailan. Kaya sayang naman yung panahon kung nandun ka sa isang international community, wala kang ginawa kundi magsiksik din sa iyong tribo, sa iyong grupo, at hindi ka na nakihalubilo. Kasi uuwi ka rin, kasama mo pa rin yung mga dati mong katribo, hindi mo na makakasama uli yung mga nagkita-kita lang kayo sa isang lugar dahil pinagtagpo-tagpo kayo doon ng inyong mga kapalaran. We move in time. We move in orbits of space. Space keeps moving and changing. Like the planets, the universe, the Milky Way. No heavenly body will be in the same spot again ever. Tulad din tayo. We will never be in the same place, the same situation, with the same people, in the same level of mentality where we are now. Pag lumampas yun, tapos na. The earth is never in the same spot, at least in any man's lifetime. So our activities bring us to different places, different planes and dimensions of space. Nararanasan mong nasa taas, nasa baba, nasa gilid, nasa gitna, nasa sulok, sa iba't ibang paglipas ng panahon. Our activities make us change the configurations, even of the same space where we are. In such orbits of space, like time, our path brings us close to, alongside, and away from places, things, people. Pag nalalapit ka sa isang bagay, nalalayo ka sa iba. The law of impenetrability says only one thing occupies one place at one time. You cannot be close to everybody. When you're close to someone, it becomes necessary that you are not that close to everyone else. Kaya pinipili. Pag kausap ko kayo, wala na kayo pwedeng kausap. Pag nandito ako, hindi ako pwedeng nasa ibang lugar. Dahil ganun talaga ang panahon at ang espasyo. Our position in, use of, and relation to space makes us share it with other people, beings, and things that are brought by their own orbits and cycles to the same place at the same time. Tingnan niyo mga katabi niyo ngayon, dinala yan dyan ang kanyang kapalaran. Pero yung consciousness mo last week, last year, yung health mo ngayon, next week, kahit magkatabi-tabi kayo paulit-ulit, hindi laging pareho. Hindi yun nauulit. So life is all about space sharing. You share a row of seats in an airplane with several people. You share a row of apartments with several residents for a while. You share space. Sometimes it's about sharing the same space and things with others who come even at a later time. Ano yun? Yung mga namamana. Ecclesiastes 1:4, people come and people go, but still the world never changes. So yung lugar mo ngayon, i-occupy ng iba. Yung bahay na tinitirahan mo ngayon, iba yung nakatira noon. Ecclesiastes 2:18-20, sabi ni Solomon, suddenly I realized that others would someday get everything I had worked for so hard. Then I started hating it all. Who knows if those people will be sensible or stupid? Either way, they will own everything I have earned by hard work and wisdom. It does not make sense. I thought about all my hard work, and I felt depressed. You know why he was depressed? Because Solomon accumulated so much through hard work, and yet he knew that he would die and could not take everything with him to the grave. And so he will have to yield all of those to someone who might not even take care of what he worked for. But why did he feel bad? Because he wanted to control the space and the things he had, even when he is in another dimension already. Yung mga kinontrol mo ngayon, pag sumakabilang buhay ka na, gusto mo pa rin makontrol, gusto mo pa rin ikaw ang magmaniobra nun, ilulungkot ka nga. What's the secret in life? Don't feel bad. Yield time, space, and things to changing courses of your orbit. We never own anything. We were born with nothing, and we leave this world with nothing. Everything that we have, all the stages of intellectual growth that we enjoy, are just but fleeting moments. Avoid pain. Do not get too attached to things, to places, to seasons, even to people. We love, but don't get too attached. Colossians 3:2, think about what is up there, not about what is here on earth. Think of things that are above, not of the things that are below, because everything that is below is fleeting, temporary, borrowed. You will have to yield that. Pag sobrang mong gustong hawakan, nakukulong ka. Parang yung mga ibang tao sa South Pacific. How do they catch monkeys? Kumukuha po sila ng mga nyog, at yung nyog may butas. Doon sa loob ng nyog, naglalagay sila ng makinis na bato. Itong unggoy, masisilip niya yung nyog na nakakabit sa kung saang contraption, hindi niya kayang dalhin yung nyog. Sisilipin niya yung bato sa loob. Magagandahan siya. Ipapasok niya ang kanyang daliri sa maliit na butas, hahawakan niya ngayon yung bato at gusto niyang dalhin. Pero dahil hawak niya yung bato, lumalaki yung kamao niya, hindi niya kayang ilabas dahil maliit lang yung butas. Pwede lang niyang ilabas ang kamay niya. Pag bibitawan niya yung bato, mailalabas niya ulit yung kamay niya. Ganun tayo sa buhay, mga kapatid. Kung minsan nakukulong ka dahil ayaw mong bumitaw. Dapat marunong kang bumitaw. By holding on to something very dear and close to us, we become slaves, we get imprisoned. We get caught up in the webs of life. So space and one's place in it are temporary and dynamic. We move in orbits of consciousness. So time, place, consciousness. The mind keeps changing. That's what many collectors realize. There's a time in your life when you like to collect bells or elephants or flowers or whatever. Then there comes a time in your life where you're not interested anymore. And you're looking for someone to give it to. Nag-iba na kasing isip mo. Nag-iiba-iba tayo ng isip. Kung minsan in love ka, hibang na hibang ka, lagnat na lagnat ka sa isang tao, at gandang-ganda ka. Pag na-realize mo na ngayon, hindi pala ganun kagandahan naman, hindi naman pala ganun talaga ka-interesting, naiiba na yung utak mo. Cycles of thinking. Kung minsan gusto mo ang isang bagay, mamaya ayaw mo na. Naniniwala ka sa ganun, mamaya, hindi na masyado. Mamaya, may iba ka na ng paniniwala. In fact, life is all about changing our mind. And the development of the human being is all about changing the way he thinks. Romans 12:2, but let God change the way you think. That we are changed from glory to glory by changing the patterns of our thoughts. Ecclesiastes 7:25, so I decided to learn everything I could and become wise enough to discover what life is all about. But the moment that you have become wise, you realize that there is so much more that you are not informed about. Only the truly wise realize that they are ignorant, because the truly ignorant think they are wise. But the truly wise realize that there is so much more to know, that what we know is little, and what we do not know is immense. We keep changing the way we think. 1 Corinthians 13:11, when we were children, we thought and reasoned as children do. But when we grew up, we quit our childish ways. And by then, you think you're an adult. But give yourself 10 or 20 years more, and you will realize that though you were 20 or 30, you were still a child. Because room for learning is the biggest room in the world. So what is life about? It's about sharing thoughts, mindsets, worldviews, in changing configurations. What are we talking about here, my brothers and sisters? You cannot share anyone's life without sharing that person's thoughts. And people keep changing their thoughts. That's why you begin sometimes as lovers, as sweethearts, and after 15 or 20 years of marriage, you begin to fall apart and grow apart from each other because the way you think begin to separate directions. Nagkakahiwalay ang pag-iisip. To continue sharing your loved one's thoughts, if you like to do that, grow together. Grow in the same direction, grow at the same speed, especially in matters of faith. Kaya mahalaga yung unity of the mind. Pagka ang isip ang nagkakaisa, walang makapaghiwalay sa inyo. Kahit espasyo, kahit panahon. Pero kahit magkasiping, kahit magkatabi sa iisang kwarto, pag magkaiba na kayo ang takbo ng utak, artificial na ang inyong unity. Bakit pinag-uusapan natin ang mga bagay na ito, mga kapatid? Why are we talking about our lives being lived in orbits? Because spirituality, Christianity, is all about living life to the fullest. The Lord Jesus said in John 10, "Then I came that you might have life and have it abundantly, have it fully." How does one live fully? Because we move in orbits, make the most of shared time. Colossians 4:5, always make good use of the time. Pag may kasama kayo ngayon, mga kapatid, enjoy na. Enjoyin nyo yung pagsasama ninyo. Kung kayo ay nasa maginaw na klima, enjoyin nyo yung ginaw. Huwag kayong magreklamo. Pag nasa mainit kayong klima, enjoyin nyo yung init. Huwag kayong magreklamo. Kasi yung panahon na yun, maiiba at maiiba. Kung sino ang kasama ninyo, sometimes you join a group tour, and there are 10 other people there who are companions from hell, no? Ang hirap-hirap ng group tour, yung mga laging late yung isa, kakainis kumisan. But you will never be in the same bus again ever in your life. So learn to enjoy that shared time. You have a choice to feel miserable, unhappy. But why will you do that? The time will never come again. Kung sino yung kasama mo, ano yung ginagawa mo sa oras na yon, ano yung panahon ng kasalan, magsaya ka. Panahon ng libing, dito ka maglungkot. Hindi pinagbabalik-baligtad. Kasi yung panahon hindi bumabalik. Always make the most of shared time. Lalo sa mag-asawa, hindi nyo naman alam kung sino unang gagraduate. Hindi nyo alam kung sino unang kukunahin ang panahon. Kung kailan wala na, tsaka nyo mamimiss. Habang nandyan, share everything. Enjoy to the most. Pag nagkahiwalay kayo, ganun talaga buhay. Yan ang pinag-uusapan natin, mga kapatid, para mga planeta. Kung ito yung Earth, lumalapit yung Venus, huwag mo ka magreklamo, enjoyin mo yun. Kasi lalayo din yun, magkakahiwalay din kayo kasi lahat kayo may orbit. Lahat ng tao may orbit. So kung magkalapit kayo at yung the orbit of the person brings him near your orbit, enjoy it. It will never happen again. Love the most, give the most, do the most good, and then move on without regrets. Because we move in orbits, make the most of shared space. Romans 12:16, be friendly with everyone. You can be unfriendly, even hostile to your neighbor or to your roommate if you're in a dorm, but what kind of life will you have? So, make the most of shared space. After all, it will not be forever. Everybody has orbits. People will move away from you, whether you like it or not, and you will move towards other people as well. But if you keep on making misery out of company, you will carry misery with you everywhere, and you will never have a life that Jesus wants to be abundant and full. Make the most of shared minds. Proverbs 1:8-9, my child, obey the teachings of your parents, and where their teachings are wood, a lovely hat, or a pretty necklace. Young people, enjoy sharing the minds of your parents. They have learned so much. They have gone to life before you, and they like to spare you from many sorrows. Don't keep complaining about what they teach you and how sometimes insistent they become. Enjoy it. Pagka meron kang kausap na matalino, huwag kang makipag-compete. Listen and enjoy. When there are two talkative people in the room and they both talk, nobody wins because nobody listens. But if somebody talks and you listen, you end up a winner because what you knew before is now more because what the person was saying was added to your knowledge. But the person that kept on talking never added anything to himself. So listen, kung minsan nakikipag-compete ka, anong mapapala mo? Kaaway, kagalit. Minsan, alam mo yung anak ko, second honor. Ang anak ko nga, first honor. O, ano ngayon ang hinahanap mo? Away? Hayaan mo lang siya, appreciatein mo lang. Ganito yung mentality ng kausap mo. Alangan mong ibahin mo siya. Amo ka, ang yaman-yaman mo, ang dami mo nang nalaman sa buhay, meron ka empleyado, inahanap mo sa kanya yung talino mo. Eh kung ganun kayo, di siya katalino, di dapat hindi ka muna siya tauhan. So, kung ano yung mentality niya, enjoyin mo. Huwag mong i-impose yung mentality mo on others. Do not impose your values and mentality on other people. But try to enjoy what they have between their two ears. That will be an added blessing to you. Do not always impose your systems. Look at other people's systems. You are not in Russia, and yet that country works and runs well. It means that you don't need to save the world all the time. You don't have to change everybody. Different ways, different customs are like that because they work in that time or space. Dapat naiintindihan natin yun. When somebody has a new idea, do not reject it immediately. Give that idea a day in court. Like Paul's idea about Jesus was very strange to the Greeks. Acts 17, 19 to 20. They brought Paul before a council called the Areopagus and said, "Tell us what your new teaching is all about. We have heard you say some strange things, and we want to know what you mean." Ganon ang natututo. Hindi ko naintindihan ang pinagsasasabi ng taong yan. Pakinggan nga natin. Ganon. Hindi yung, ayaw ko nang pakinggan kasi hindi ko maintindihan. Shared minds. At any given time, we are growing in our mind. And no two people grow at the same time. So somebody knows something you don't. Somebody understands something that you probably don't. Enjoy it. Relish the good that is shared. Kasi, lilipas agad. Yung mga bata sa pamilya nyo, na isip bata, kasi bata, gusto nyo agad mag-mature, enjoy the childhood of your children because they will not be children for long. Hindi ka na laging parang punong inaakyat niya at gustong yakapin. Pagka nga nag-teenager, di ayaw ka makasabay sa mall. Hindi laging ganon. Hindi nila laging gustong sumama. Sama ako. Isama nyo habang gusto. Kasi darating ang panahon, kahit mo pilitin, ayaw. Lumilipas. Because we live in orbits, you won't be here again. You won't be there again. So maximize enjoyment, maximize goodness, and doing good. Because you will never be in that spot again, ever. Meron kang strength, may taong mahina, pinagsama kayo in the same time and space ng inyong orbits, aanin mo yung strength mo. Pagsasamantalahan mo siya, kakaya-kayanin mo, o gagamitin mo yung strength mo para siya palakasin at tulungan. Then magkakahiwalay na kayo, anong laman ng budhi mo? Anong laman ng puso mo? Kaligayahan o guilt? Hindi na kayo magkakasama uli eh. Kumakain ka, meron kang kinakain na sandwich, may titingin-tingin. Baka gutom na gutom, may isa ka pang sandwich o pwede mo hatiyan ang sandwich mo. Palalampasin mo ba yung pagkakataon na yun? Meron ka namang extra pera, meron ka pamangkin na hindi makapag-enroll. Palalampasin mo ba yung semestre na yun? Kasi baka next time, ikaw na yung wala, sila na yung meron. Ba't ka magpapalampas ang pagkakataon na gumawa ng mabuti? Eh, hindi na babalik. May sakit ang magulang mo, naglalambing, gustong bantayan mo, ikaw naman, puro gimmick ang inaatupag mo sa buhay. Hindi naman lagi magkakasakit yon at baka mamatay pa nga. Oh, ano ngayon, uuwi ka sa burol, iiyak-iyak ka. Pag may pagkakataon tayong gumawa ng mabuti, huwag niyong papalampasin. Lalo't kayo yung magbibigay, kayo yung malakas, kayo yung may kapangyarihan, sayang pag pinalampas. If there's any opportunity to do good, don't let it pass. It may not come again. Pinagsasama-sama tayo ng kapalaran, pinagtatagpo-tagpo tayo ng iba't ibang tao, iba't ibang uri ang utak sa iisang lugar, sa iisang panahon, dahil merong purpose. So you ask, ano ang purpose ko ngayon dito? Anong katuturan ko? Ba't ako nandito ngayon? Ba't nailagay ako ng Diyos sa oras na ito, sa lugar na ito, ng mga kasama ko, ito mga ito? Ano ang mission ko sa buhay? O anong gusto ko missionin sa buhay? Walang aksidente. Ang Diyos ang nagpapaandar ng lahat ng mga planeta. Pinagtatapat-tapat. Nakita ninyo yung crescent moon, yung bagong buwan, pag tumapat yung bituin, Ramadan sa mga Muslim. Pero ang totoo, sa perspective lang natin magkatapat yun. Pag nasa ibang planeta ka, hindi naman magkatapat. It's all a matter of perspective. Pero nagkakatapat-tapat. When Jupiter aligns with Mars, nagkakatapat-tapat. Hindi laging nangyayari. Kaya minsan mababasa mo sa dyaryo, itong araw na ito, ganito yung katangian ng ating planeta. It happens only every 800 years. Ganito ang buhay Nasa isang lugar ka, nasa isang panahon ka, meron kang dapat matutunan, malasap, ma-enjoy, meron kang dapat tanggalin, ikabit, dagdagan, hingin, ibigay. Dapat gising ang isip mo para gawin yun, para hindi sayang. Ecclesiastes 3:12-13, I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and do good while they live, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. There is something for you to enjoy, a very nice morning. Drop what you do and enjoy the morning. You may never have ever a morning like that ever again. Surely there will be another morning tomorrow, but are you sure that you'll be here tomorrow? Or even if you were here, will the morning be the same? Never. Life is all a matter of choices. Every minute, every second, you're choosing. And the people of God should not be confused anymore to choose between good and bad. The confusion or the joy should be the choosing between good or better or best. If we are spiritually informed, we will keep on making very, very excellent choices. Not always perfect choices, but nearly perfect. Because it is the will of God that we enjoy life here on earth, to do good, to be godly, and also to be happy. The Lord did not put into this life to torture us. The Lord said, I want them to have an abundant life. We move in circles. And because of that, endure or minimize the sharing of what is not so good. Sometimes you share your orbit with somebody who is not nice. What do you say? Lilipas din ito. This too will pass. You don't have to regret that you are there. You don't have to make it more miserable. You say, this cycle will end. I will enter another cycle. These orbits of ours that meet and are close to each other at this point will soon be distant. This too will pass. I'm going to endure this with maximum dignity, and I'm going to minimize its negative effects on me because this too will pass. Lilipas din. May nakaaway ka sa traffic, binaril mo. Nakulong ka na habang buhay. Ang hindi nag-pass yung moment, pinahaba mo dahil mali ang ginawa mong reaksyon. Merong isang taong nangaaway, natapakan ka, nakipag-away ka, nakipagsaksakan ka, pareho kayo natanggalan ng baga. Nakulong ka dun sa unpleasantness kasi pangit yung reaction mo. So, this is unpleasant, but this too will pass. I'll let it pass. In a few moments, in a few seconds, the body chemistry of this monster will change. Or maybe my chemistry will change. I will not entrap myself in this ugly moment by doing something wrong. Cycles, orbits. So in this life, my brothers and sisters, minimize conflicts. You're having a vacation with your in-laws. It's only for 1 week. For heaven's sake, minimize conflicts. It will pass. Don't make lifelong enemies just because you are there for 2 days. Minimize contact with the unpleasant, if you could. Minimize damages of discord. Di naman magtatagal lalampas din. 2 Timothy 2:16, keep away from worthless and useless talk. It only leads people farther away from God. Titus 3:9-10, but don't have anything to do with stupid arguments, and stay away from disagreements and quarrels. Such arguments are useless and senseless. Warm troublemakers once or twice, then don't have anything else to do with them. Umiwas ka. May taong war freak, may taong mapang-away, may taong violent, umiwas ka. You're driving, somebody's always cutting you, somebody's driving so terribly, umiwas ka. Avoid. Don't race the driver. No, don't blow your horn and bring your face out the window at makipag-away ka pa. Dahil lalampas din yun. Palampasin mo. Sabi sa Desiderata, as far as possible without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others. Even the dull and ignorant, they too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. So remember to speak your truth quietly and clearly. Many people would like to shout out their truth into everyone's ears, that nobody would like to listen. And listen to others. Even the dull and ignorant also have their story. Di nakikinabang ka. Because we live in orbits, enjoy the ride. You can make a big deal out of every little imperfection and make your life miserable and everybody else around you. But that's a choice. You can choose otherwise. Accept and prepare for changes. The person whose orbit you share with right now may not be there tomorrow because his orbit will take him elsewhere. So tomorrow, don't be possessed by regrets by squandering today when the person is here. Huwag niyong sayangin. May mga mag-asawa, marino yung lalaki, 10 buwan sa dagat, 2 buwan lang dito sa kate, nag-aaway pa araw-araw. Tapos pag nasa dagat ulit, miss you papa, miss you papa. Pag nandito, pangayan, sayang. Sayang. Accept and prepare for changes. We grieve when somebody we love dies or goes away. But people die. It's a fact of life. Minimize its pain by maximizing the joy of sharing the life while the life is lived on earth. Nakakalungkot pag may nawawala sa buhay natin, pero kontian nyo yung lungkot sa pamamagitan ng pagpapalawak ng ligaya habang magkasalo kayo sa buhay. Wala tayong pwedeng kasalo forever. Bawat isang tao may kanya-kanyang orbit. Meron lang matagal na nagkakasama kasi nga nag-grow together yung mind nila. Pero ganun pa man, napaglalayo tayo ng pagkakaiba ng kalusugan ng katawan, yung isa malusog, yung isa hindi, nauna siyang sumakabilang buhay. Nagkakaganon talaga. Mga katotohanan sa buhay. To those you love, be ready to say goodbye. Because you will say goodbye. How do you get ready? Give what you must give. Receive what you must and can receive from the person. Love to the fullest. And move on without regrets. Nandiyan na yan ngayon, mahalin mo na. Pag wala na bukas, wala kang sukat ipagsisi. Kasi minahal mo naman. At kung minahal ka rin niya, may tinanggap kang pagmamahal, salamat. Kung yan na lang ang huli mong natanggap dahil nagkalayo na kayo, kaya ka nang buhayin ang magandang alaala na yon sa iyong buong buhay. One good, beautiful memory of a person can sustain you all your life. Even that experience that give you the good memory will never repeat. Don't always aspire for a repetition. Because even if you love somebody very much now and you meet again 20 years later, the person has changed. You have changed. Your health has changed. Your values have changed. It will never be the same. You can never aspire for a repeat. Kasi hindi naman pelikula ang buhay na pwedeng i-rewind. Habang nandiyan na lang, give the most. Love the most. And then let go. Because that's what life is all about. Be hopeful to say, see you again. Be hopeful that your orbits cross again. But even if your orbits don't cross again, you can be sustained by your beautiful memories if you made them beautiful. And to those you dislike, always say, this too will pass. Ayoko sa teacher na to, one sem lang ito. This too will pass. No? Nakikipagbakasyon ka with people you don't like. This too will pass. I will never damage them permanently, nor myself. And then be glad to say goodbye. Because you will. Matatapos din yun. And to those that you do not know yet, be eager, though careful, to say hello. Because so many things can be started with a hello. You can start World War III with a hello, or you can start another Romeo and Juliet episode. So be careful, but be eager. Laban was saying goodbye to his daughters because Jacob would take them to his home country. Laban also said, this pile of rocks means that the Lord will watch us both while we are apart from each other. So the place was also named Mizpah. Masakit, isang magulang, ang mga anak mo dadali na nung napangasawa sa sariling bayan. Pero ganoon naman talaga ang buhay. Sobrang selfishness pagka ang magulang ayaw pag-asawahin yung anak. At pag namatay na kayo, sino kasama ngayon na anak nyo sa buhay? Huwag lang masyado maaga, 14 pa lang, gusto nang may makasama. Aga naman nun. No? Kailangan naman medyo maghintay-hintay ng panahon. Life has givens. Nakatakda. Hindi mo na pwedeng palitan pa. Tanggapin mo ang dapat tanggapin, baguhin mo ang pwedeng baguhin, at mabuhay ka na payapa. Ecclesiastes 1:4, people come and people go, but still the world never changes. Ecclesiastes 1:5, the sun comes up, the sun goes down, it hurries back to where it started from. Life is full of cycles. History repeats itself, they say. Ecclesiastes 1:6, the wind blows south, the wind blows north, round and round it blows over and over again. Life is about circles. At any given time, somebody's beginning, somebody's ending, somebody's in the middle. It's about circles. You must understand that the sentiment of the beginner is different from the sentiment of that who is going to end a circle or a cycle. Expand the way you understand people. Ecclesiastes 1:7, all rivers empty into the sea, but it never spills over. One by one, the rivers return to their source. Life is about recycling. Not one drop of water had been added to nor subtracted from the planet since creation. Puro lang evaporation, condensation, etc., etc. Yun at yun din. Ganon din ang buhay. Recycling. What is the cause of sorrow? Too much attachment and not knowing what to do with time and space. Ecclesiastes 1:8, all of life is far more boring than words could ever say. Our eyes and our ears are never satisfied with what we see and hear. So how do you reverse that? Teach your ears and eyes to be happy with the here and now, to be satisfied. Percy B.C. Shelley says, we look before and after and pine for what is not. Therefore, answer serious laughter with some pain is fraught. Our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thought. Pag ang lagi mong hinahanap, yung wala, at yung nandyan, binabaliwala mo, hindi ka na sasaya. Dapat yung nandyan, appreciatein, yung wala, limutin muna kahit sumandali. Hindi yun unfaithfulness. Lagi mong naaalala, nalulungkot ka naman, gumawa ka ng paraan para malimot mo kahit sandali. At pag nandyan na, tsaka mo nalang uli alalanin. Kaya sabi na isang tula, better by far you should forget and smile than that you should remember and be sad. Kung may nagmamahal sa inyo, huwag nyo laging hanapin na mamiss kayo dahil kawawa naman siya, biruin nyo na mamiss kayo. So kung medyo nalilimot-limot kayo, mahal nyo siya, dapat na rin kayong sumaya dahil at least yung hapdi, yung kirot ay bumababaw. Huwag tayo maging selfish na lagi nating umiikot ang mundo sa atin, lagi tayong naaalala, laging tayong hindi makakain pag naiisip tayo. Diba? Di na makatulog, di na makakain. Tagyawat sa ilong yun. Pati na sa pisngi. Ganun ba dapat ang gusto mo pag may minamahal ka? Di ba ang gusto mo maging independent siya? Para wala ka at nandyan ka, mabuhay siya. Mga magulang, pag naputol na ang pusod ng bata mula sa sinapupunan ng ina, nagsimula na yung pagiging independent. Dapat natin siyang tulungan na makatayo mag-isa na hindi lagi nakaasa sa atin. Kasi hindi naman tayo lagi nandyan. So one of the best gifts that we can give to our children is to teach them to live their cycles and their paths and their orbits. Kahit hindi tayo kasali. Kesa lagi tayo nakasali pero nakastandal sila tumaasa. There's always a parting, a letting go in life. And those that hold on too much and too tightly and too long are the ones who suffer. And you make everyone else around you suffer as well. The joy and the peace of life is in letting go. To enjoy it while it's here and to let go when it has to go away. Ecclesiastes 1:9. Everything that happens has happened before. Nothing is new. Nothing under the sun. So learn from the patterns. Don't reinvent the wheel. Young people, learn from your parents. Learn from the experiences of the generations ahead of us and who went before us. Because things just keep repeating. Ecclesiastes 1:10, someone might say, here is something new. But it happened long before we were born. Paulit-ulit lang ang lahat, tulad ng fashion. Ecclesiastes 1:11, the one who lived in the past is remembered anymore, and everyone yet to be born will be forgotten too. So do not aspire for remembrance or legacy to the point of not living a full life, to the point of being unkind to others, just so that you will be remembered, you'll be great, because nobody will remember beyond 3 generations. Yung mga photo albums natin, kung uso pa yon, papahalaga lang nga kayo. Siguro, yung mga anak nyo, pagka kayo sumakabilang buhay, pahalagahan nyo ng konti. Mga apo nyo, naku, ano yung mga album nyo? Diba? May iba na silang halaga, may iba ng buhay. So, huwag ka nang, gusto mo pa na wala ka na, pinapahalagahan ka pa. Ang mahalaga habang nandito ka, mahalaga ka sa iba, mahalaga yung iba sa'yo, nagmamahalan kayo. At kung wala ka na, di wala ka na, graduate. Pero kung minsan sa kahalagahan sa iyo no magiging darating pa ng mga impression sa iyo, hindi ka tuloy na buhay ng totoo sa sarili ngayon, hindi ka na nakakain ng gusto mo, hindi mo nagawa yung gusto mong gawin dahil wala ka iniisip kundi image, legacy, tas namatay ka na, yung buhay mo unlived. It is sad because there are many unlived lives because the people who were assigned to live them are giving everyone else a show or living in a fantasy. But we have our own lives to live. Make sure you live your life. No one will live it for you. And don't ask others to be extensions of your life so that they will live your life for you. They have their lives to live and you have yours. Everyone has a path. Everyone has an orbit. It is unkind to derail other people from their own orbits because you want them to be under your shadow. It is unkind to dominate people, to dictate upon them. They have their own orbits and you have yours. Do not contend with the orbits of life. You will never win. You will only be miserable and you'll be unhappy. One high meaning of religion and worship is to live life to the fullest. Worship of God is not always about a formal activity that ends in time and begins in time and has certain elements. But to live life to the most, that is high religion. Because life is from God. Get the most, give the most, and keep moving without regrets. Philippians 3:13, my friends, I don't feel that I have already arrived, but I forget what is behind, and I struggle for what is ahead. When you keep on looking backward, especially with regrets, or pain, or sorrow, or hatred, or envy, you are wasting the here and now. Because you are accommodating what is already gone. Look around you, live life to the fullest. Yesterday is a spent and cash check. Tomorrow is only a promissory note. Only today is cold cash. Don't forget to enjoy it, because the enjoyment of God-given life is worship also. Life is lived in orbits. Do not waste time, space, and stages. The Lord said, I came that you might have life and have it to the full. Ama naming Diyos, salamat dahil mahal niyo kami. Salamat dahil may plano kayo para sa amin. Salamat dahil may mga itinakda kayong dapat maganap. May tamang panahon ng pagsilang namin at paglipat sa kabilang buhay. Turuan mo kami, Panginoon, na huwag mag-aksaya ng oras. At huwag din kami mag-aksaya ng oras ng iba. We thank you, Lord, for the gift of life. Teach us to value time and space, to value what is here now, and teach us also to respect other people's lives, that we do not needlessly impose on them and derail them from their calling. Lord, we thank you. Help us to realize all these